Welcome to Optimal Agency. I'm John Gilson. Today we're going to be talking about regrets, specifically how to minimize yours to maximize future life satisfaction. So, the question on the table, number one on that list, inaction. We regret the things we don't do more than we regret the things we do. And if you think about reversibility, there's a fairly easy explanation for this. When we act, we often have the choice to essentially undo the effects of that action. But if we have an opportunity come up that's transient and we don't act, that opportunity may never come up again. Think the one that got away romantically. Think about that job offer you got, didn't take. It's not still on the table. And so that loss of control through inaction gives us a tremendous sense of regret. If you have to choose between acting or not acting on your biggest opportunities, you're more likely to be satisfied if you act. Okay, the second thing that we regret is a lack of commitment. And this is somewhat surprising. When we don't commit to things, we're more likely to regret our decisions. In other words, when a decision is reversible and easily reversible, we tend to think about the grass being greener on the other side. But if we make a full commitment, and we make that full commitment by making the decision irreversible somehow, then we are much more likely to be satisfied with the outcome. Think about this as shopping for something that you can return versus shopping for something that's on final sale. You'll actually be more satisfied with final sale, even though you'll express a preference for being able to return the item. So we like reversible decisions, but we'd actually be happier and experience fewer regret with irreversible decisions. The third place that we should look is at achieving our goals and aspirations versus our duties and responsibilities. That is, we actually regret not meeting our goals and our aspirations more than we regret not meeting our duties. In other words, if you have the choice between chasing your dreams or doing what you ought to do, you should choose your dreams, okay? And this is because of psychology's essentially three-phase conception of self. There's your actual self, who you are. There's your ought self, who you think you ought to be, your duties and responsibilities, and your ideal self. What you actually want to do to minimize regret is chase your ideal self, not what you think you ought to be doing. Chase your goals and aspirations. 4, there are some domains where the potential for regret is much higher. Here they are. In these 6 domains, education, career, romance, parenting, self, and leisure, you're more likely to experience regret, especially if you have a lot of opportunity in these spaces. So if you have goals and aspirations, act towards them in these domains, education, career, romance, etc., if you want to minimize future regret. So I hope that was helpful and gives you some real basis on how you should act in the future if you want to be looking back on your life with no regrets. If you'd like more on this, you can check us out at optimalagency.co. We released a podcast just this week on whether or not to have kids and the psychology of regret about that. You can also check out newsletter number 45 by going to optimalagency.co/newsletter. A lot of the research that underlies what I've told you here today is linked there, and you'll learn a little bit more. As always, please like and subscribe to this video. And thanks so much for being part of the Optimal Agency family.